Dear students, now I am going to start chapter number 4 from your English textbook First Flight from the Diary of Anne Frank. I have given video 1 from this chapter. Now today I am going to explain this part of the chapter. So listen carefully. Dearest Kitty, our entire class is quacking in its boots. The reason, of course, is the forthcoming meeting in which the teachers decide who will move up to the next term and who will be kept back. Half the class is making bets. Gian and I laugh ourselves silly at the two boys behind us, Cian and Jackie, who have stopped their entire holiday saving on their bet. From morning to night, it's you are going to pass. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. No, I'm not. Even G's blazing glances and my angry outbursts can't calm them down. If you ask me, there are so many dummies that about a quarter of the class should be kept back. But teachers are the most unpredictable creatures on the earth. So now, students, I will explain. Quacking means shaking or tremble. Stalk means bet or chance, यानी शर्त लगाना. And pleading to request emotional appeal. Glances take a brief or hurried look. Outburst is sudden release of strong emotion. Dummy is an object designed to resemble and serve as a substitute for real or usual one. Unpredictable, not able to be predicted or changeable. So now students, on June 20th, 1942, Annie begins writing in her diary, addressing it as her friend Kitty. यानी उसने अपनी जो उसकी डायरी थी उसका क्या नाम रखा था, Kitty. She mentions how her entire class is nervous. क्यों सब लोग नर्वस थे? क्योंकि उस दिन उन सबका रिजल्ट डिक्लेयर होने वाला था about their results. It is unpredictable and will be decided by a meeting of teachers in which they will select students to be moved to next class or kept back in same class. Many students were making bets. बहुत सारे students शर्त लगा रहे थे. Some had put in their entire summer saving at stake. She and her friend G also make fun of the nervous boys. They kept on saying to each other, I am not going to pass, while others would console them and say, yes, you would. यानी कुछ कह रहे थे कि मैं नहीं फेल पास होने वाला, कुछ कहते नहीं तुम पास हो जाओगे. So G was polite as she tried to stop them from making noise while Anna scolded them. But none of it worked. According to Annie, about a quarter of class should not be allowed to pass because they hardly respond to take part in any of the activity. She refers to them as her dummies, but this may not be the case because teachers' decisions cannot be predicted. So I am so worried. Annie Frank क्या कहती है कि I am not so worried about my girlfriends and myself. We will make it. The only subject I am not sure about it maths. कि वो क्या बोल रहे हैं कि भाई हम सब पास हो जाएंगे दूसरे सब्जेक्ट्स में, पर सिर्फ दूसरा एक सब्जेक्ट कौन सा है, मैथमेटिक्स, जिसमें वो श्योर नहीं है. Anyway, all we can do is wait. Until then, we keep telling each other not to lose heart. यानी सब लोग एक दूसरे से क्या कह रहे हैं कि किसी भी तरीके का मतलब अपने दिल को छोटा मत करो. Not to be discouraged. The author says, yani Anne Frank says, that she is not bothered about her friend because she is sure that they will pass. The only thing subject, she is unsure about is the mathematics and she seems to be having a tough time with the subject, but all they could do was wait for the results and not lose their hope. I get along pretty well with all my teachers. There are 9 of them. यानी वो सबके साथ, सभी टीचर के साथ उसके अच्छे था. और वो कितने थे? 9 थे. 7 men and 2 women. Mr. Keesing, the old foggy and old-fashioned person, टीचर्स मैथ्स क्या पढ़ाते थे, मैथमेटिक्स पढ़ाते थे, वॉज annoyed विद मी, हमेशा मुझसे annoy करते रहते थे फॉर एजेस बिकॉज आई टॉक सो मच इन द क्लासरूम। यानी जब वो पढ़ाते थे तो बहुत सारी बातें करती रहती थी हमेशा। देयर आर because I talked so much after several warning, he assigned me extra homework। जब ज़्यादा बातचीत करते तो ज़्यादा होमवर्क भी उनको दे देते थे। एन ऐसे ऑन द सब्जेक्ट चैटर बॉक्स की बजाओ कल से कैसे लिख के लाना चैटर बॉक्स पर। ये चैटर बॉक्स क्या होता है? व्हाट कैन यू राइट अबाउट दैट? आई वुड वरी अबाउट दैट लेटर। आई डिसाइडेड, आई jotted down the title in my notebook, tucked it in my bag and tried to keep quiet. That evening, after I would finish the rest of my homework, the note about the easy to essay caught my eyes। यानी जो नोट लगा है बैग पे उसने टैग करके रखा था उसकी तरफ उसकी नज़र जाती है। I began thinking about the subject while chewing the tip of my fountain pen. Anyone could ramble on and leave big space between the words, but the trick was to come up with convincing arguments to prove the necessity of talking. I thought and thought, and suddenly I had an idea. I wrote the 3 pages Mr. Keesing and had assigned me and was satisfied. I argued that talking is a student's trait कि बातचीत करना स्टूडेंट का गुण है, ट्रेट है, and that I would do my best to keep it under control. Ramble मतलब to talk or write at length in a confused to inconsequential way, convincing, capable of causing someone to believe that something is true or real, powerful. Trait means quality. Inherited means derived genetically from one parents to another parents or ancestors, you can say that. So the author came across the note she made as a reminder for the essay. After she had finished the rest of her homework, she began thinking about the topic while chewing the tip of my fountain pen is a gesture that signifies a person is in deep thinking. यानी वो डीप थिंकिंग में अपना पेन चबा रही है, सोच रही है कि उसे ऐसे में क्या लिखना है। डीप थिंकिंग while anyone could mention random stuff and written for the sake of filling pages. She wanted to present concrete argument in support of talking. She mentioned that she will try to better herself as a student, but talking is someone that cannot be eliminated completely. This is because she got it an inherited trait from her mother, and this is how she ended up writing 3 pages on the topic. But Mr. Keesing had a good laugh at my arguments. But when I proceeded to talk my way through the next lesson, he assigned me a second essay. This time it was supposed to be on incorrigible chatterbox. I handed it in, and Mr. Keesing had nothing to complain about for 2 whole lessons. However, during the 3rd lesson, he would finally had enough, and Frank, as punishment for talking in class, write an essay entitled Quack, 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 said Mistress Chatterbox. And proceeded means to begin a course of action. Incorrigible means not able to be changed. Mistress, a woman in a position of authority of control. So the professor found Annie's argument is to be amusing. मतलब उसको बहुत interesting लग रहा है. But when she did not stop talking in the next lesson also, he gave her yet another assignment as punishment. तो उसको दूसरा assignment दे देते हैं punishment के रूप में. The topic was, क्या topic होता है? An incorrigible chatterbox. Incorrigible refers to a bad habit that is difficult to change. He gave her this topic because he was annoyed of her unstoppable chattering during his class. On receiving this assignment, the professor did not say anything to her for a while, but when he lost his patience, he handed her yet another assignment as punishment on the topic quack, 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 said Mr. Chatterbox. The class roared. पूरा क्लास इस पर जोर जोर से हंसने लगता है. I had to laugh too. वो भी हंसते. Though I would nearly exhausted my ingenuity on the topic of Chatterbox, it was time to come up with something else, something original. My friend Sanem, who is good at poetry, offered to help me write the essay from beginning to end in a verses. एंड आई जम्प्ड ऑफ और जज ने क्या बोला कि भाई ऐसे है वो तुम ठीक है एक पोएम के फॉर्म में वर्ड्स के फॉर्म में लिखो. और ये सुनकर उसको बहुत खुशी हुई. मिस्टर कीजिंग वॉज ट्राइंग टू प्ले ए जोक ऑन मी विद दिस रिडिकुलस सब्जेक्ट, बट आई वुड मेक श्योर द जोक वॉज ऑन हिम. I finished my poem and it was beautiful. It was about a mother duck and the father swan with 3 baby ducklings who were beaten to death by the father because they quacked too much. Luckily, Mr. Keesing took the joke the right way. He read the poem to the class, adding his own comments and to several other classes as well. Since then, I have been allowed to talk and haven't been assigned any extra homework. On the contrary, Mr. Keesing always making jokes these days. Yours, N.A. The chapter is extracted from The Diary of Young Girl with slight adaptation. So, roared means student. यहाँ पर laughed, exhausted, completely used up, ingenuity, the quality of being clever, original and inventive. Verse means writing arranged with a metrical rhythmic style, typically having a rhyming style. Ridiculous, deserving or inviting, design or mockery, absurd. When the professor scolded her for the 3rd time and punished her, the whole class started laughing. As a result, she had to pretend to be amused too. After writing twice on similar topic, she ran out of thoughts. उसके पास कोई विचार नहीं थे लिखने के लिए. Thus her friend Sani, उसकी फ्रेंड सैनी ने उसको एक आइडिया दिया क्यों ना इसको एक पोएम के फॉर्म में लिखा जाए. So she finally wrote her 3rd assignment in the form of a poem, which turned out to be great, जो बहुत अच्छा साबित हुआ. She wrote a satire that a father swan bit his 3 baby ducklings to death because of their noisy nature. To her good luck, the professor took it lightly. The professor recited the entire poem in front of the class while giving his own remarks. The author, being fortunate enough, talked uninterruptedly. After this incident, without any further homework or assignment as punishment, also Mr. Keesing, the professor, started cracking jokes every now and then in front of the class. So students, this is the whole chapter explanation. Watch video, listen video once or twice and understand the chapter well. Thank you.